Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak. Welcome to Millennium TV News. This is Fahmida Islam with you. Before moving on, let's look at today's top stories. US President meets the Pope. Chinese President Xi Jinping meets US tech leaders. Pope Francis makes saint of controversial Hispanic missionary. Yemen mosque explosion in Sana'a kills 12. And Prime Minister and President greet all for Eid al-Adha. Those were the headlines, now the details. Pope Francis has called for further action on climate change, saying that it was a critical moment of history on the first day of his visit to the US. He talked about climate change and immigration during an address on the White House's South Lawn. Take a look at the key moments during Wednesday's visit between President Barack Obama and Pope Francis. Speaking in Seattle, he said, "Without reform, there will be no driving force. Without opening up, there will be no progress." Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and Apple CEO Tim Cook were among those attending. US companies are eager to tap into China's massive market of consumers. Mr. Xi Jinping addressed China's recent economic troubles and said the government was taking steps to address it. However, he said, "I believe in the long run that the fundamentals of the Chinese economy are good." On to have been a fly on the wall when President Xi Jinping sat down with Apple's Tim Cook, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Satya Nadella of Microsoft, and other US technology leaders. We are told the conversation covered regulation and clean energy, but surely there must have been something juicier. However, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg joined Mr. Bezos and Mr. Xi Jinping later on Wednesday as they toured Microsoft's corporate campus in suburban Seattle. Mr. Xi travels to Washington, D.C. on Thursday to meet U.S. President Barack Obama. Sarah, who lived in what is now California, is the first person to be made a saint in the U.S. Latino churchgoers have said honoring him is an overdue acknowledgement of the American church's Hispanic history. However, Native American groups have accused him of helping wipe out indigenous people and their culture. Sarah was a Franciscan friar who brought Christianity to California. Native Americans there say he was instrumental in the killing of thousands of people by the Spanish conquerors, but his defenders insist he worked as a moderating influence. The Pope, who is on his first official visit to the U.S., defended Sarah, saying he helped protect Native peoples. They also announced the creation of a Truth Commission and an amnesty law. President Juan Manuel Santos and Rodrigo Londoner, known as Timoleon Jimenez or Timochenko, met in Havana. The agreement is seen as a major breakthrough after nearly 3 years of peace talks hosted by Cuba. The time for peace has arrived, said Mr. Santos. The Colombian leader said he had agreed with Timochenko that a final peace accord would be signed within 6 months. On 23 March 2016, we will be bidding farewell to the longest-running conflict of the Americas, he said. Under the deal signed on Wednesday, combatants will be covered by an amnesty law, except those who have committed war crimes and human rights violations. Negotiators from the government and the FARC, Colombia's largest rebel group, have already reached agreement on land reform, political participation, and illegal drugs. The blast took place at the Al-Balili Mosque during prayers for the Eid al-Adha holiday. It comes 2 days after Yemen's President Abdurrabbah Mansur Hadi returned to the southern city of Aden from exile in Saudi Arabia. He had fled in March following gains by Houthi rebels, who have since been targeted by a Saudi-led coalition. The coalition, along with loyalist forces, have pushed back the Houthis from some areas including Aden. However, the Houthi Shia Muslim rebels from the north of the country still control the capital. The Balili Mosque is close to a police academy in the capital. Many people are also reported injured in the explosion. Sana'a has been hit by a series of bomb attacks, many of them claimed by the so-called Islamic State militant group, which is Sunni-based. We'll take a short break. Back in a moment with the headlines here. Indian monsoon deficit, what's the cause? UK-China stocks link plan unveiled. Boeing to open assembly plant in China. I am the last Ballon d'Or winner born on this planet, said Kaka. Dalmia was a well-wisher of Bangladesh cricket, says BCB President and CEO. Welcome back to Millennium TV News. The Indian monsoon season spans from June to September and brings much needed rain to the region after months of sweltering heat. Indian agriculture is dependent on the climate of India, and a favorable summer monsoon is absolutely critical for securing water for irrigating crops. As the monsoon began its retreat in September, the India Meteorological Department confirmed that India as a whole has suffered a rainfall deficit of 12 to 15%. This kind of deficit is 1 in 18-year event. What is the cause and what will be the impact be on India? Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and President Abdul Hamid have sent their greetings to everyone on the occasion of the holy Eid al-Azha to be celebrated on Friday. The Prime Minister in a message said the unique example set by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhis salam by sacrificing his dearest thing for the satisfaction of Allah will be imitated and followed forever. She also added that this is an occasion that celebrated equality for all, and she added through the festival, Muslims practice compassion by distributing meat of their sacrificial animals among relatives and neighbors. Meanwhile, in a message on Wednesday, the President said the spirit of sacrifice of Eid al-Azha is a unique example of showing respect and love to Allah, adding that the inner message of Eid al-Azha asks everyone to show respect, tolerance, and love to each other. The President also urged everyone to follow the teachings and ideals of Eid al-Azha to build a peaceful and amiable society. Now the business news. He announced a landmark feasibility study into the idea which would enable Chinese and British shares to be traded in both countries. He said the UK and China would stick together despite stock market turmoil and faltering economic growth in the world's second-largest economy. Mr. Osborne made the pledge in a speech at the Shanghai Stock Exchange. He described the exchange as the epicenter of the recent volatility in global markets. The exchange's benchmark index has fallen nearly 40% since June. The Chancellor is visiting China to boost commercial and political ties. His trip comes ahead of a state visit to the UK by China's President Xi Jinping in October, the first by a Chinese leader for 10 years. The new factory will focus on painting and assembling twin-engine 737 aircraft manufactured in the US. Chinese firms also agreed to buy 300 Boeing jets in deals worth about $38 billion, which is £25 billion. The announcements coincided with a visit to the U.S. by China's President Xi Jinping, who toured Boeing's Washington State factory on Wednesday. The plan to open a plant in China has received criticism from the head of Boeing's biggest union and Donald Trump, who is seeking nomination as a Republican candidate in the 2016 presidential election. Mr. Trump said the plant would take jobs away from the U.S. However, Boeing chief executive Dennis Muilenburg promised the new plant would not result in the job cuts in the U.S. The push into China is not the only development for Boeing in Asia. On Tuesday, the company finalized a $2.5 billion, which is £1.7 billion deal with India for the sale of military helicopters. India will purchase 22 Apache and 15 Chinook helicopters too will replace Soviet-era equipment. Now the sports news. Kaká has praised Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo by joking he was the last Ballon d'Or winner to be born on this planet. The Brazil international won the prize in 2007 during his time with AC Milan ahead of Ronaldo and Messi, who have shared it the 7 years since. Kaká, 33, said it was an honor to win an award as he paid tribute to what his successors have managed to do since. Ronaldinho, Cristiano, Messi, and myself are the only Ballon d'Or winners who are still playing, he told Marca. It fills me with pride to stand alongside these great players and to be the last player to have won the award before Messi and Ronaldo. You could say that I was the last Ballon d'Or winner to have been born on this planet. Kaká's Milan career was followed by a less impressive stint at Real Madrid, where he struggled for game time under Jose Mourinho. But the attacking midfielder, who is a Champions League, Serie A and La Liga winner, said his relationship with the coach was fine. I always acted very professionally and respected the decisions he made. My relationship with him was bad. Kaká said, "It's true that there were certain things that I didn't agree with, but I had no choice but to keep on working hard, and that's just what I did. And you know what? For me, it was rewarding to hear what he said about me when we both left the club. When he was asked about me, he said that I was a top professional." Bangladesh Cricket Board President Nazmul Hasan Papun has expressed his condolences and sorrows at the death of BCCI President Jagmohan Dalmia, and the CEO of BCB, Nizamuddin Chaudhry, said the off-fielder Tendulkar has passed away. The Indian cricket administrator Dalmia passed away at the age of 75 on Sunday night. Nazmul, in his condolence message, recalled the contribution of Dalmia in Bangladesh's cricketing sector. Bangladesh cricket has lost a true friend and well-wisher. We shall always remember with gratitude Dalmia's cooperation in taking Bangladesh cricket forward. Bangladesh's entry into the Test arena was also the result of his cooperation and foresightedness. The BCB chief said CEO Nizamuddin Chaudhry, one of the longest-serving officials in BCB, has been with Dalmia up close. He recalled Dalmia's continued support even after Bangladesh's elevation to the Test status. He not only played a role in our getting the Test cap, but often kept advising us even after that. He used to talk to us, inquire about us. He was well-wisher of Bangladesh cricket in the truest sense. Nizam said he said that Dalmia was an immensely far-sighted man and said that the idea of collecting revenue by selling telecast rights and spreading cricket was his idea. Now TV rights are the main source of income for the cricket boards of all cricketing countries and the ICC. That sustains world cricket, BCB CEO said. Nizam said that Dalmia was a legend like that of any cricketer in the cricketing world. Let's have a look at Millennium TV News Recap. US President meets the Pope. Chinese President Xi Jinping meets US tech leaders. Pope Francis makes saint of controversial Hispanic missionary. Yemen mosque explosion in Sana'a kills 12. And Prime Minister and President greet all for Eid al-Adha. You're up to date with our top stories so far here on Millennium TV, and don't forget to log into www.millenniumtv.net. Thank you for staying with us. Eid Mubarak and Allah Hafiz.